Hey everyone, today I'm going to be answering some of your frequently asked questions as well as some questions you asked me over on Instagram. This is just code for that Louie needs a break from making some regular videos and just opted to make a question and answer video to take a break.
Hey everyone, I'm Louie and this is my Pity William. We live full-time in my self-converted vintage Aerostar and are traveling the world, well, currently only the US. For the next few months, we will be living, working, and exploring in the southern United States, hoping to debunk stereotypes, learn some history, and eat some good southern food. Oh, and did I mention my mom and her pup are also along for the ride. Thanks for watching and subscribe to find out where we end up each week. And a special thank you to all my patrons and an extra thank you to my patrons who pledged in the Better Recognized tier and up.
But nonetheless, I think that this video will help you give some insight and answer your questions, your burning questions that you've been asking me over and over again in the comments. So here we go. So the first question I want to clear up is one that lots of people have been asking me over and over again, and that is, how do I make money and what do I do to be able to sustain this lifestyle? And if you watched my question and answer video from a couple months ago, the answer was different. But now my main source of making income is here on YouTube, making money from ad revenue as well as money on my Patreon, which is amazing. And thankfully I don't spend a lot of money every month, and I don't have a payment on this van or anything. So my main expenses are like insurance, food, and gas, and yeah, so I stay very frugal with things and splurge here and there, but I'm able to afford doing it, mostly everything off of those two incomes. I do some editing, some podcast editing for one client at the moment, and that makes a little cash here and there too. It's a little gas money. So that is my current way of making money, although it wasn't like that before. There have been many odd jobs and savings and things that I have done. If you're looking for a way to make money on the road, there's many different options. You just got to be creative, and maybe I'll make a video on that one day. So there's several questions that I get asked a lot that revolve around my Pity William. No, go up there, William. No, William. William, go up to Mama's van and eat it. Go. The first question I get about William all the time is how old he is, and he is 6 years old, going on 7, and we've had him since he was 5 months old. And so for this first question from Instagram is from Catch44892. They ask tips on van life with a dog, like keeping him comfortable in the van when you're doing something not dog friendly. So William, he can be a little nervous when I leave him in the van alone, which is not very often. I leave him in the van usually when we are like grocery shopping or exploring a city and we can't take him with us, and that's very like far and few between, as well as like if we go to a national park and I want to do just like a short hike or something, he'll stay in the van, and this is only when the temperatures are good and not super hot. I do have this fan in here, and that is wonders. Like yesterday I was sitting in this fan, it was like almost 90 degrees out, and I had it on high power and I was fine. So usually I'll keep him back here in the back, and he just chills out back here and he seems to be fine. Yeah, as long as he's got his food, his water, his the fan on, and as long as I've taken him on a really good walk, he's good back here for a few hours. I won't leave him in here for more than like 4 hours, but this is his safe space. This is where he feels comfortable. Sometimes we'll even be out in nature hanging out at a campground, and he'll opt to come in here instead of hang out outside. So I think that he really feels that this space is a safe space. So yeah, if you're looking to bring a dog with you, it will take some adjustment for the dog, but I'd say generally most dogs are going to enjoy it because they're with you 24/7 pretty much, and they get to go outside and do fun things and explore new places, like go to the beach. Like yesterday we took them to this really awesome dog park beach that they got to go swimming in and got to cool off and stuff, and it was great. Yeah, my tip is just slowly introduce them to the van. That's what I did with William. If they're not used to driving in a car, slowly get them used to it. So if you're gonna leave your dog in the van for a longer period of time, start small. Start with like 20 minutes, see how they do, and then go on, and then make adjustments to make it comfortable and safe and enjoyable for your dog to be inside the van. So the next frequently asked question is, does your mom have an Instagram or a YouTube channel? And my mom does have an Instagram, and that is Out Seeking Rainbows, which I will put down below, and she is planning on making a channel very soon, so look out for that. I think it's going to be mostly like cooking and food based, like how we cook outside, where we go to eat when we're in cities and stuff like that. So it's going to be, she loves food, so it's going to be like that and kind of vloggy style, which I'm super excited for her to get that going. and to share that with you. All right, I'm gonna try to get through as many of these Instagram questions as possible. I'm kind of on a time crunch right now because we are trying to head to the Everglades right now, and I'm gonna get some footage there and record some stuff, and we're gonna go on a boat tour and everything. So I wanna get through these questions and answer everybody. So this first question is from Sean Matani, and they say, are you going to hit Canada's East Coast after Maine? And heck to the yeah. So we really want to go to Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and pretty much all of the East Coast territories, but that really all depends on if the borders are going to open. And even though we could probably like ship our vans to like Mexico and get out of this country, we really just don't want to like be the role model of people like traveling to another country just because we want to. It's during a pandemic, so we're gonna not do that. But once the borders are open and we get vaccinated, we are going to be traveling abroad. So that's really exciting. And Canada is one of those places. How many tattoos and piercings? I have, well, if you count my earrings, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piercings, including my septum ring. I love my septum ring, and no, I will not take it out. Lots of people like to tell me to take my septum ring out, which is so confusing to me. It's like, it's my body, my choice. And I have 2 tattoos. My first tattoo is this. It's a organic compound called GABA. It stands for GABA aminobutyric acid, which is a neuroinhibitor for processes of anxiety and depression, which I struggle with. I especially struggle with a lot of anxiety, and it's just a reminder to chill out. It's the compound that helps you. I thought it'd be cool to get a chemical structure when I took and passed organic chemistry. So, and then my second tattoo is a stick and poke that my best friend and I got when I turned 19. We decided to, my friend Marissa at my historically women's college, we did a stick and poke, a matching one, and she did that for us, and it represents our teenagehood and turning into adults, because my best friend and I used to ride our bikes around all the time in high school around the city where I grew up, and it's just kind of paying homage to that. So 2 tattoos, plan on getting more. One of the tattoos I want to get is a giant eucalyptus tree on my right thigh, and I want that to kind of symbolize like my growth through my college years, and a eucalyptus tree is really important to me because that is the tree of my alma mater. And the next question is from Stonus Music, and they asked, are you a musician? You mentioned Moog in one of your videos. And yes, I used to write music under the name Clora on SoundCloud. If you want to look that up, it's like not great music or anything, but I'm really into making electronic music on using Ableton and different synthesizers and all of that. So yeah, I really want to get back into making music, but it's been really hard to find the time and space in this van to do it. So I feel some music coming out of me very soon. I've been feeling really inspired to write, but it's got to be the right time. I've taken kind of a hiatus, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to it. All right, this question is from Kel_Pay. Any plans to visit the Midwest, i.e. Wisconsin / Great Lakes region? So I have visited these areas before. I have family who lives in Michigan, and I love it over there. I've gone to Erie Lake, all of those, but we do plan on going back this summer because we are going to be celebrating my grandmother and my uncle's, it's my uncle's 50th birthday and my grandma's 80th birthday. So we're gonna be in Michigan, and we plan on, after hitting Maine, we're gonna, if we can't go to Canada, we're gonna go through and go to Niagara Falls, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, over to Michigan and hit those areas up. I really like Lake Erie. It's beautiful. Some of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen. All right, and then this question, what's your work as a digital nomad? I hope I answered that question. Yeah, it's all about being creative. So I really appreciate this next question coming from the Instagram account named Dykes Disbound. I've been following them for a while. They're a partnership that has been exploring the US in their truck, which is super cool, with like a truck bed. They're very cool. They asked, how do you identify? And I really like this question because it's kind of identity for me is very like ethnicity and like gender for me. So I'm going to answer that. So for those of you who have been wondering what my ethnicity is, I consider myself mixed. Like when people ask me what I am, I say mixed, but I am Black, Filipino, and white. So I'm a modge podge of many different things, and Filipino is like saying you're like Australian. Like there's a lot of other cultures that have come to the Philippines and have made up what a Filipino person is, unless you're an Aboriginal person. And so like I'm many different things. And then my race here in the US, I identify as Black because that is how majority of people see me. Like when I go down to Central and South America, that will be completely different. People will probably see me as more white passing or more of a brown person down there. But here in the US, I identify as a Black person. And then as far as my gender goes, I identify as a woman. Yeah. Okay, I hope that answered your question, Dykes Disbound, and I hope you're doing well out there traveling the US. Squeebs BFP asked, do you want to have kids one day and would you take them on adventures? So yes, I would love to have kids one day, but that is definitely, well, it's not really based off if I can find the right partner, because if I had to, I would have kids by myself. Like I've thought about it, and I think that having children is definitely more than just like doing it with a partner, like, which is ideal. I would love to have a partner and someone to raise kids with, but if that didn't happen in time for my body to be able to have children safely, I would do it on my own and find love later if that's something that I feel like I need. But yes, if I do have kids one day, I would love to take them on adventures, and I would love to have a sailboat and have some weird boat kids. That would be the most ideal situation. Like there's no way we're gonna be staying in one place when there's this whole world to explore, and I think that kids can learn a lot from traveling. Like I've learned damn near so much information from just traveling, and I think that kids deserve that too. Miss Clarinda asks, will you ever do a meetup, you and your mom? Yes, of course. We are definitely thinking about it. When we were in New Orleans, we were talking about possibly doing one there next year, like sometime around Mardi Gras, because I know a lot of people live down there in kind of the southern area that follow me, and also we just love New Orleans, and we feel like that's just like would be such a great place for a van meetup. So keep an eye out for that. I'm potentially wanting to do that during the next Patreon week and like beyond, so we'll figure that out. What camera gear do you use? Camera and gear do you use? So the camera I am shooting on right now is a Lumix G85. I really like Panasonic Lumix cameras because they have like more of a cinematic feel to them. They don't really pick up dark rooms very well, but I always find that when I record with them that they just have this like cinematic feel to them that I really love. And on top of that, I have one of those like Gorilla tripods that I use, a regular tripod, and I just recently bought a Maverick Air 2, and that has been a great addition to the arsenal, and hopefully I will be adding a GoPro soon too. But that, and then I also use my phone a lot. This is just an iPhone 12. If you are looking to make a YouTube channel, I know a lot of people say this, but use your iPhone. Like if you have an iPhone, any phone will work to make videos starting out, because you're really just in the beginning trying to learn how to compose shots and talk to a camera in a way that makes sense. So use your iPhone. This next question, oh, and that question was from Rabahman 505. All right, so the next question is from Sun Sedation, and they ask, do you have/want friends to caravan with sometime, COVID safe, in parentheses? Yes, I would love to have some friends to travel with. I think just the way we are traveling currently, it makes it really hard to have people along all the time, but I would love to meet up with people and do it COVID safely, and yeah, meet other people who live in vans. Before this whole pandemic thing, I did meet up with people. I didn't have a lot of followers then, but I did meet up with people kind of often, and that was like, those are the times. And they also asked, do you ever like making van dweller friends online, or does it ever feel weird/unsafe? And honestly, no. I feel like people in this community are very like authentic and I never feel unsafe. Although I do take precautions, like I do like to talk to people for a little bit before I go and meet up with them and kind of check them out and stuff. Like, you know, everything you would do if you were like dating online, except it's finding van friends online. You just gotta, you know, you just gotta feel it out a little bit. And I definitely won't like meet up with people by myself in a random spot. Like, since I'm with my mom, I'll meet up with her, but if I'm by myself, like I'll usually do stuff like that and meet up with several different people at one time, and that really helps me feel secure and safe. All right, this next question is from Says Who, and they ask, do you plan to remain fully nomadic for the long haul, or do you envision having a home base? So I currently don't have the funds to get a home base at any time, like in the near future. My mom and I do talk about getting a place down in Costa Rica or somewhere in Central America as a home base. My mom would really like a home base, but for me in the near future, I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. I want to eventually buy a sailboat and travel the world that way in a more like environmentally friendly way is the goal. So no, not anytime soon. Not until those goals have been met. I don't think a home base is in the near future. And yeah, I will be doing this for a long time. After I took a little break and was living in a house last year during the beginning of the pandemic, I really realized that like it really gave me the insight and to be able to like compare the two, like living in a house versus nomadically. And nomadism is just in my DNA and my personality. It's a personality trait. It's everything to me. So yeah, I'm gonna remain fully nomadic as long as possible. Okay, we're getting through all of these questions. All right, the next question is from D Daughter of Creation. And they ask, I've been working on my build for a while and looking for tips to stay motivated. Got any? Ooh, I know how you feel. It gets like to the halfway mark of your build and you're just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want to build another thing. I don't want to screw into a piece of wood. I don't care anymore. I don't want to have to wait for another box, go to Home Depot for the 100th time. But I think that the way I got through it was realizing all of the like cool things I was going to be able to do after finishing my van build and all the places I was going to go. Like, just keep that in mind when you're building and you don't want to do stuff. Like, your end goal is to get out there and explore, and that is the point of building. And I think that can be helpful to like remember that every once in a while when you're feeling down. Also, I don't know what your preferences are, but if you're feeling like you don't want to build anymore, like maybe it's time to like take a little trip in your van. Maybe it's time to like take it out for a weekend or something and see like all the work that you've done already and like how functional your van is already. And if it's not, going out and like trying to subsist off of what you have built already can really show you that you need to build a certain thing, and that will probably get you feeling more excited about it. So hope that helps. Happy building. I'm super excited for you to get on the road as well. This next question is from ambitious.batty3, and they ask, is your van reliable and have you had any major problems since you bought it? So my van, I could say, is pretty reliable. She's gone like pretty much from West Coast to East Coast, swiveling up and down, and it's been great. Recently though, I'm having some issues with the transmission, which is making me a little nervous, and I've had to get like the back brakes replaced and the radiator. There have been several things that needed to be replaced out, all under like $2,000-ish per time, and that's happened a couple times. So yeah, if you get an old vehicle, be ready to do some repairs. It's still cheaper than getting a newer vehicle, thankfully, but it is kind of a headache. But yeah, my recent problem right now is with I believe the transmission. The van takes a while to warm up now, and I can't just like drive off really quickly. I have to like warm it up first and then put it into drive and then it'll go. So I'm really debating right now what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna spend like the $3,000 to $4,000 on replacing the transmission at some point, or if I'm just gonna say, okay, well, it's time for me to upgrade to something new. I'm just relying on things working out, and that's the thing. If you have an old car like this, you have to like just be okay and go with the flow and like know that it's gonna be all right, and if something breaks then you're just gonna figure it out. I guess I am saying this from a place of privilege, of course, because I do have some money saved up to be able to fix things when I do need them to be fixed. But yeah, I think that I'm gonna be driving this van until she is completely on the ground or until it's not worth it to fix something, and then we'll find out. This next question is from Jessie_day_. How did you find your van? What was your high point price? So this van was originally my mom's van, and we went to go get it in LA, and our high price point was $2,000, and that is what we paid for this van. All right, the next question I really like is from MZ Choco 8-star. It's funny trying to read all of these names, all these handles, it's funny. And they ask, how do you keep connected to family while on the road? So thankfully I'm traveling with my mom. The other part of our family, my family is like really small and like close knit. It's me, my mom, and my brother basically. And then we have like some other family members that we're close to that we are going to be visiting probably in the next month or so. But the way we stay connected is we call each other. We use technology to our advantage, but it's been, to be honest, kind of hard for me and my mom to be away from my little brother. He's like a new adult and he's just starting to figure out life, and we've decided to go on this trip, and he didn't want to come with us, unfortunately, so he's on his own out there, and that can be hard. But my mom talks to him all the time. We just use technology to our advantage, and hopefully once this whole pandemic is over, we will be meeting up with our family more and doing more like trips and things together. This next question is from Pretty Lame Doodles, and they ask, what do you do or carry to make yourself feel safe? So I honestly have not felt very unsafe except for a couple of times, which have been totally fine. Like in the last video we had to call the cops, which was not fun. But for me, I carry around just a simple mace, and we have bear spray when we're in nature. I think the things that I'm most afraid of are animals more than people. But yeah, I would like to take some sort of like self-defense class very soon, or start like watching YouTube videos about self-defense. But in my 3 years of doing this, it's been fine. You just have to really like feel things out, and like don't park in a space where you drive up and you're like, oh, this is not safe. Like leave, like go somewhere different where you feel safer. I also don't want to be naive and say that it's going to be okay all the time. Like definitely do what you need to do to be safe. But yeah, for me, having some mace on me is great, and then just locking my doors at night and being very vigilant and very thoughtful about where I park for the night. All right, 4 more questions. This next question is from Ginky, and they ask, how do you feel like van life affects mental health for you, different challenges, etc. So when I first graduated college and I was living in the other van, I was not doing so hot mentally. I think that my van wasn't finished. I didn't have all of the things that I needed, and I was still learning how to live this lifestyle. And I think that then it was really hard for me to like make two types of transitions at once, and I think it definitely took a toll on my mental health, and that is why I took the time off for a few months. And thankfully it was during the beginning of the pandemic. I took some time off to live in a house and really get my mental health in order, because now I feel so much better. I feel like vibrant. I feel less anxiety. I'm having less days where I feel depressed, and it's wonderful. But so I say, if you're not in a great like place mental, it really just depends on the person, but I'd say that if you're feeling like a lot of anxiety and like having like mental health issues, like it's definitely important to take the time out. And if living in a van is contributing to that anxiety and depression and stuff and mental health issues, then you need to like, it's okay to say like, I need to take a break from it and I can pick this up later. But recently living in a van has like greatly improved my mental health. I think that I'm so privileged to be able to be moving around during this time, during this pandemic in the US, and I think that has really been helping my mental health, because otherwise I'd be in a house not trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I think that being able to travel around has really been a benefit, and be out in nature a lot has been a great benefit as well. But yeah, there are days in the van that are down days, like if like you run out of power or something's broken in the van, or it's a rainy day and you've been in the van all day, that can affect your mental health. But I think it's a lot of like perspective and like taking care of yourself. Like if you're having a bad day, it's okay to slow down and take the time off, make yourself a nice meal, watch some movies, go for a nice walk, do stuff that is mental health improving. All right, the next question is from Measure Twice, Cut Once. For warm shower water, what's a good ratio of boiled to room temperature water? Thanks so much. So in our little shower bag, pump pressure bag thing that we got, I do a gallon of water to 1 kettle this size of hot water, and that's about perfect. On a colder day, you might need to do 2 of those just because the water, it gets cold really quickly. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. All right, the next question is from whoa, Whisper Kid. And they ask, any advice for other femmes who are intimidated about the van buying process / getting taken advantage of? So this is actually a question that I actually have been thinking about a lot lately, because I've been thinking about what I'm gonna do if I need to find a different like living situation, and buying something from a dealership is in one of those plans. And I'd say that you just go in educated. I've been looking at lots of videos on YouTube about the buying process. There's lots of cool things. Like there's this one website, which I can find it and link it below, where you can go on and look at the different dealerships and see if they will sell you something below MSRP. The last car they sold was under 8% of MSRP or something like that. And then there's also a website where you can go on and pay like $175 and get another 1% off your MSRP. So there's just like little tips and tricks like that. Like go in knowing what you want. For one, having a budget, like don't budge on your budget, and know what you want. Take your time. I think that also doing a lot of the buying process online can be really helpful, especially during this time. You can really like communicate with the people who are selling the van, if it's used, or if it's a used van from a private seller or a dealership. It's great to be able to communicate and like take your time answering questions so you can do research and stuff. So I like the idea of doing a lot of it online until you're ready to test drive something. Go in like the badass you know you are. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. You have the money that you want to spend, and if that doesn't match, then it's not right. All right, and then the last question is from E4Lees. And they ask, what is the success rate for sites and locations you find via iOverlander? I'd say it's pretty like 1 for 1. There have been, so in this past 8 months, I'd say out of all the times we've used iOverlander, which is probably almost 100 times at this point. Yeah, I'd say somewhere in the hundreds. We've had maybe 2 or 3 places where we've driven up and it's been bad. Like it's either been closed or it's been just like we can't like get down a road or something. But yeah, and then in those case scenarios, sometimes you have to drive a little further, but we will always revert back to a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel. Those will always be there for you. So yeah, thankfully it hasn't been more than that. But I'd say across the board, it's pretty easy to find a spot. So anyways, I hope that answered everybody's questions. Thank you if you asked a question over on my Instagram. And yeah, the next time I do one of these, go follow me over on Instagram. If you would like to ask a question, have it be answered here on camera personally. If you're new here, normally there's lots of like van life and adventure videos on this channel, but I was feeling kind of burnt out on those, so I decided to just make a Q&A video. So click subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will be back in the next video with some more adventures. We're gonna go explore the Everglades here in Florida, and that will be the next video, so I'm super excited. All right, thank you for watching, everyone. I will see you in the next video. Bye.